I'm gonna give my reason why I think the Clippers are gonna come out of the West, as well as I think they're gonna win the NBA Finals if they do come out the West. Um, like I said, I did a prediction thing, or I did a video probably about a little over a month back, where I picked four teams who I liked, and I said I liked the Grizzlies and the Mavs, and these were like kind of sleeper teams. I did Grizzlies, Mavs, Wizards, Pistons, and these were just kind of sleepers to watch out for. Um, I still think the Mavericks could be dangerous. I just know they're gonna have, they're gonna have to go through murderous row. Basically, well, first of all, they gotta make the playoffs because they're fighting that eighth seed. But that they're probably, say they get to 7 or 8, they're gonna have to beat, say, the Thunder. Um, probably the Thunder, the Clippers, and our Rockets. You know what I'm saying? And the West is murderers row. Really, the West is whoever gets out of there. They're gonna have to. You have to play three assassins. There's three warriors. No pun intended on the Warriors, but Warriors might not make it. I think Warriors don't make it. To be completely honest, I think they fall out, and I think Suns, Mavericks, Grizzlies grab the last three spots. That's my personal opinion. But the reason I made this video is to say why I think the Clippers win. Partially because I wear this Chris Paul jersey. Usually that's one of the main reasons why Clippers will win the championship, because I'm wearing the Chris Paul jersey. But nah, for real though. Um, uh, okay, Clippers. Honestly, they went into and it's a regular season game, but they went into Oklahoma City and beat them by like 8. I know it was a higher scoring game recently. They beat the Lakers last night by 48. I know that's not saying much. The reason I'm saying that game though, when I watch them play, they just their execution is incredible. They move the ball incredible, um, and like their DNA for a championship is there, and it starts with, okay, we'll start with Chris Paul, who's the best point guard in the world, no doubts about it. I mean, and especially I feel like there's this kind of, I think there should be this there should be this ranking of like best regular season point guards and best playoff point guards. Because best regular season point guards, then you can start throwing in Russell Westbrook and Kyrie Irving, and um, those are two guys I'm just thinking off the top of my head. The John Walls, the Ty Lawsons, Kyle Lowry's. But then there's this upper tier playoffs, because the guy didn't name Tony Parker. And if we're talking playoff point guards, Tony Parker is right there at the top of the list, if not. But I feel like when we talk about best point guards during the regular season, no one says Tony Parker. But then when playoffs start, everyone's like, oh, Tony Parker's best in the world. Um, anyway, Tony Parker and Chris Paul are by far the best playoff point guards. So that being the case, you got Chris Paul on your team who can beat, can literally. And let me say something about so Chris Paul is the reason why they'd win the championship. One, he's the most important part. And last year, if you don't remember, Clippers played the Grizzlies in the first round, and they went up 2-0 on the Grizzlies. Grizzlies fought back and won 4 straight and beat them 4-2 in the first round. I don't know if people remember that. So Clippers got beat in the first round last year. I know they're not trying to do that again. Like I said, they ran into a fucking tough Grizzlies team. I think that win or that loss was the best thing that ever happened to the Clippers. Blake Griffin came back with a new edge. DeAndre Jordan, he's the most impressive. He's honestly he should win Most Improved Player of the Year, to be completely honest. DeAndre Jordan leads the league in rebounding at 13 or 14 a game, leads the league in field goal percentage, got bigger, put on more muscle mass, isn't just a skinny big guy anymore. The weight is like made him more coordinated. I think because his feet are a little bit heavier. He's not so like happy feeted. He's, like I said, first in the league in rebounding and first in field goal percentage. Only 2 players have ever done that before: Wilt Chamberlain and Dwight Howard. That's one of 3 players ever do that. So DeAndre's a big part. When Chris Paul was hurt, I think he's out 18 games. Blake Griffin was an animal. Blake Griffin, I mean, after LeBron and Durant, Blake Griffin's probably the third on an MVP list for sure. I mean, he's averaging a double-double, averaging sick numbers. I don't know off the top of my head. I think 24 and 12, somewhere around there. But he was carrying the team. The Clippers were still winning. The Clippers are third in the West right now. Only 2 games back from the Spurs. 2 or 3 games back from the Spurs and Thunder. They're right there still at the 3 seed, and that was, like I said, 18 games without Chris Paul. Blake Griffin led him. So Blake Griffin's more improved this year. He's better than he's ever been. DeAndre Jordan's the best DeAndre Jordan we've ever seen. The key, and then Chris Paul, like I said, is Chris Paul. Now the big thing is they're role players. I think having Jamal Crawford, who is hurt right now, but he'll be back soon. He's huge. He's a scorer. Starting, I don't know if they're gonna have him start. Because J.J. Redick, who's also hurt. Once J.J. Redick comes back, who they signed, is a shooter. That's a scorer who can put up 20 points any game. So Jamal Crawford, J.J. Redick, who are both out right now. Add them in the mix. Then add in Matt Barnes, who's an aggressive, long, lanky defender, can shoot. He dropped 28 the other night. Playing really aggressive right now. When he's playing when he's focused, he's a great defender. Jared Dudley off the bench, another kind of lanky player, great defender, great shooter. Those are the guys they had. Now I'm talking the key signings, and this is what makes them the championship team. Okay, first off, let's say signing Glenn Big Baby Davis. Glenn Big Baby Davis played on the Magic and the Celtics. He played a big part in the Magic. He played a big part in the Celtics championship runs. Glenn Davis, and the one thing people were saying with the Clippers were lacking was depth. Now they have depth with Big Baby there. That's one player. They got Ryan Hollins, who's a body to throw in there. Ryan Hollins, big center out of UCLA. But Glenn Big Baby Davis, if anything, even if it's just him, he's huge because he can come in for Blake Griffin, he can come in for DeAndre Jordan, give him that break, and he's a champion. And I'm waiting to say one piece, but I'll say it in a second. And then they signed Hedo Turkoglu. And people forget, this is only 4 years ago when Hedo was in the Magic with Dwight Howard. Hedo Turkoglu was the guy with the ball in his hands at the end of the game. It wasn't Dwight Howard. Hedo Turkoglu, he's that one. He runs point at 6'10". He would be the guy who would dribble the ball up the court. He would be the guy with the fourth quarter, 20 seconds left, who has the ball in his hands, who take the big shots. And this is only 3 years ago. Turkoglu, I think Turkoglu will come in and make an impact when needed or at some point. So they signed Hedo, signed Glenn Davis, and then the biggest one I think is signing Danny Granger. Danny Granger from the Pacers. The Pacers traded Danny Granger to the Sixers for Evan Turner. I don't get that. First off, one thing I don't get. I guess it's salary cap reasonings, but I hate when they make a trade. So they traded Sixers got Danny Granger, Pacers got Evan Turner, and then Sixers cut Granger. So what's the point of the trade? I guess it's a cap room thing, but it's so retarded, stupid to me. So Clippers signed him. Signed Danny Granger, who averaged 26 points a game like 3-4 years ago, was one of the best players in the league, an all-star. I think adding him, though, just adds more length, like a Matt Barnes length, depth, a veteran, a guy who can score, can shoot. And I think, we'll get to that in a second, but so signing those three veterans, Glenn Davis, Hedo Turkoglu, Danny Granger, huge signings. And the last guy, by the way, come off the bench, Darren Collison, who is a backup point guard, who is he's a starting point guard in the league. Darren Collison backing up Chris Paul is huge for the Clippers. I mean, when Chris Paul was out as well, Darren Collison was playing huge. Even when he came back, Chris Paul came back. Darren Collison dropped like 24 the other night or 22, and I'm in college watching Collison in the fourth quarter. Collison had like 18 in the fourth quarter a couple of games ago. I mean, Collison's a baller, bro, and he can defend, he can run the point. They're 10-11 deep. So they're deep. Not only are they deep, their guys are strong caliber players who are on the bench. And then, like I said, I want to save this for the end, but the Clippers basically they traded for Doc Rivers. The Clippers traded for Doc Rivers, who was the head coach for the Boston Celtics the last however many years, 6-7 years. Doc Rivers has been around the league. Doc Rivers is coached veterans. He's been deep in the playoffs lately, and I think Doc Rivers is what made DeAndre Jordan the player he is this year. I think he's added the toughness to the team. DeAndre Jordan's played with Glenn Davis. Glenn Davis has played for Glenn Davis has played for Doc Rivers, so he knows him. I think Doc and Chris Paul are a perfect match. I think Doc mixes with Matt Barnes, Danny Granger. Doc Rivers is a veteran coach, is a veteran player coach, if that makes sense. He's the kind of guy that that veterans love to play for. He just knows knows how to get it done, and I think that's going to be a big part for the Clippers' success is Doc Rivers. Like I said, especially with the mixture of the players, I think that's huge. Um, anyway, I hope those are my reasonings why I think the Clippers not only do I think Clippers go to the NBA Finals, I think they win the NBA Finals. I think say they play the Heat, they have enough long bodies to throw at LeBron with Granger, Barnes, Dudley, along with you can throw any of those three at Wade, Chris Paul. I don't know who you put on Chris Paul. You know, maybe LeBron guards him, Mario Chalmers will guard him a little bit, Norris Cole. I just think Clippers have depth. DeAndre Jordan on the help side on the big. Um, I don't think Heat really have an answer for Blake. Um, I could see, I could see Bosch on Blake, but then there's a big mismatch with DeAndre. I guess they put Greg Oden in. They got Greg Oden in there and Birdman. I'm really starting to lean on Clippers to win the championship. I really am. I put 50 on them to win the championship too, which I'm not being biased. 'Cause I got like 6, 7 NBA teams who I have championship money on for futures, but I really think Clippers win the NBA championship this year. I really see it with Doc Rivers, Chris Paul, the whole cast, the deep bench, the improved players. NBA Clippers, 2014 world champions. Calling it now. You heard it here first. NBA Clippers, 2014 NBA champions. Cheers. Peace, love.